Domestic violence can impact anyone regardless of age, race, gender, or sexual orientation. And for members of the LGBTQ community, they say they do not feel seen or heard when it comes to this issue. Joining us live to explain some of the common misconceptions about domestic abuse in the LGBTQ community is Jhonny Argumedo with the Montrose Center. Jhonny, good morning. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
As we all know, there are so many layers to domestic abuse, intimate partner violence. We know this, but when it comes to violence within same-sex couples or the trans community, it can be much more complex. Why?
I think we can just start off with societal beliefs. Yes, we are living in 2024, and we've come a long way with LGBTQ plus rights and equality, but still the society believes that intimate partner violence is between a man and a woman. That's not really the case. We also see that society believes that when a same-sex couple have it male-male or female-female, when they're dealing with intimate partner violence, specifically physical violence, it's often seen as a mutual combat. So it's not taken as serious as, that intimate partner abuse. It's often seen as just, two people fighting because they're the same sex.
Yeah, and I recall doing a story on this with the Montrose Center, speaking with a survivor, a young man who survived domestic violence within that relationship. And there's a stigma attached, especially when it comes to men in a sexual intimate relationship. There's some people feel less of a man if they have to report themselves being a victim or a survivor. How impactful is this?
Yeah, I think just across the board, another societal belief is that domestic violence survivors or victims are often viewed as females. It's often portrayed even in when we're learning about it from an academic perspective, or when other community agencies are giving the presentation. They often use the terminology as when they're referring to the abuser, they always use the pronouns he, him, or, they identify him as a male, and they're identifying the victim or the survivor as, she, her, or as a female, which is also making it very hard for males to identify themselves as a survivor, let alone adding that stigma of being a member of the gay or bisexual community and the trans community.
Yeah, I know too. This probably plays a role in the tactics used by abusers who target people within the LGBTQ community. So it's almost as if this is a double-edged sword.
Yes, it really is, because a lot of the times, because even when it comes to intimate partners amongst teenagers, if the violence is going on in school, it's often portrayed as bullying, or the school wants to handle it as with their bullying protocol. But if it's an intimate partner of the same sex, that is teen dating violence, or that is intimate partner violence. So understanding that although these victimizations look very similar, we have to speak to the people involved, be it the abuser or the perpetrator, and the victim and or survivor, and identify what was the nature of the relationship, because it can be much more than just bullying, much more than just a mutual combat.
Yeah, and for people watching who need help, who need that lifeline, it might not be within their nuclear atmosphere, their nuclear environment, but they need to know that help exists. Resources are available. For people wanting to get information from the Montrose Center, how can they go about doing so?
Yeah, they can definitely call our main line, or they can visit our website. And we do tell all our clients, or all our prospective clients, that the first step is accessing our intake application and our application for counseling. That's just a requirement across the board. You can access that online. We have a tab that says Become a Client, or if you want to come in person and talk to somebody and do that paperwork in person, you can also do that option. But we do know that people lack transportation, so we do offer it online. So you would fill that paperwork out first, and we are very aware that it is a lengthy packet. And it can take about an hour and a half for people to fill it out. but it is really essential. And it's not just it's not just the information that we need, but we have to report a lot of this stuff to our grant funders, be it a government grant or a private grant. So that would be the first step to do it across the board. And then on there, it's just assessing you for different things, for different programs that we offer. And then, of course, if you check off that you're a victim of crime, be it domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, or hate crime, you are then connected to the anti-violence program. And that's the program that I'm in. I am the anti-violence program specialist, and part of my job duty is to be that case manager for those clients that come in and disclose that information that they're a victim of a crime, specifically those that I listed.
Yeah.
So once they fill out that intake, they'll be connected to the appropriate program. And then from there, it's just speaking to your case manager about the needs that you have and us being able to connect you in any way we can.
Yeah, and there are so many resources. We've put a long list of these resources available for you on our website, clicktohouston.com. Jhonny, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.